Hi, I'm Shari with OLTD. Imagine you have two employees arguing with one another. Do you step in? What if it's pretty heated? Whether or not you intervene is based on the level of intensity of the argument. And there happen to be 5 levels of intensity to conflict, just like there are stairs behind me to symbolize the different levels. And whether or not you intervene depends on the level. Level 1 is differences. And this is where two people have different views and yet they understand each other. There's no discomfort about it. They might even be passionate about what they're arguing or debating about. However, there's not a lot of heat to it. So maybe they're debating Red Sox versus Yankees. Do you need to jump in? No need to jump in. Level 2 is misunderstandings, and this is what it sounds like. It's when what person A thinks is going to happen is different from what person B thinks is going to happen. So maybe George thought the meeting was happening this Thursday and Mary thought the meeting was happening next Thursday. And so George comes to you and says, Mary didn't show up. Do you need to intervene? No. You ask George to go and talk to Mary and straighten things out. Level 3 is a disagreement, and this is when two people see something differently, and regardless of how well they understand the situation, they do feel discomfort that the other person disagrees. Like maybe they're debating a process or a procedure. There was one time on my team where there were two people debating the most fair way to confirm people for seats in our in-person classes. One person thought first come first served was the way to go, and another person thought reserving X amount of seats for each department was more fair. And they were going around in circles and they were starting to get upset that the other person wasn't seeing it their way. So if you were in my position, would you have intervened? The answer is, it depends. How is this affecting their ability to work together? Is it escalating? How emotional is it getting? And in this case, I did intervene because it was starting to get pretty emotional and they hadn't resolved it over a couple different weeks of debates. So I jumped in. And again, it'll just depend on the circumstance for you. Level 4 is discord. Now the conflict is actually causing issues with their relationship, even when the issue that originally upset them has been taken care of. So the conflict continues even if someone solves their original concern. It's become bigger for them. It's become personal. So maybe they're not making eye contact with one another. Maybe they're using sarcasm. Maybe they're criticizing each other. And it's starting to affect the rest of the team. So do you intervene? Yes. Of course you do. And a really good technique for this is bringing them each in individually to talk to them and find out more about what's going on, and then bringing them together to have a conversation. Finally, level 5 is polarization. These are conflict situations characterized by severe negative emotions with little or no hope for reconciliation. At this point, they begin recruiting other people to their side. They refuse to hear any other perspective but their own. They make a huge effort to defend their own positions, and there are intense negative emotions. So I don't need to ask you if you need to intervene. Of course you do, and you do so exactly like you did with level 4. You meet one-on-one with each of them, and then you bring them together. So the thing to remember as a supervisor is that there are 5 levels of intensity to any conflict, and sometimes it really is up to them to work it out, and sometimes you need to intervene, and the levels of intensity will help you know the difference.